so I'm not entirely skilled technically speaking. But what I would suggest if you want to play around with pinhole and you modify a Holga, or you can buy, I think you can buy modified Holgas. I would say start cheap. You know, if you have an old 35 millimeter that you want to get a cap for, you can even take a piece of foil. Take the lens off, take a piece of foil and just punch a hole in it. You just want to make sure it stays on there pretty well and that you have the hole covered when you're not actually shooting, because light will get in there. But play around with it, do a roll or so, and see what the camera's seeing so you have an idea of what gets in the frame when you use that, because pinholes tend to be fairly wide angle. So if you want to do a close-up of somebody, you actually need to get a lot closer than you would with a lensed camera. Let's see, I'm starting to lose my train of thought here. So, so that's how you shoot. So you need to get used to how it is. And oh, I forgot to mention, if you're using a digital single lens reflex, you can also get pinhole body caps for those if you don't want to use film, if you're not a film person. I tend to love film. I heart film. Film is my muse. But you can play around with digital too, and you won't be wasting the film. But it's the same idea. You're going to have long exposures. You're going to have infinite depth of field. So if you want something sharp, and you can get sharp pictures with a pinhole, they tend to be a little bit soft, but you can actually get some amazing detail. If you want a lot of detail, you're going to have that camera stay still. So you'll want to use a tripod, or you'll want to have something really solid to set the camera down on. So I will give you some examples here. Now, this is a print I made, and you can see that there's some pretty awesome detail in this one. I actually really love this picture, and you can see the long exposure because you can see the pendulum, how the pendulum was moving, and also how the hand of the clock moved there. But you can see, you know, the creases in the fruit and everything. So that gives you an idea of how really detailed it can be. And you can get really abstract. I love doing abstract stuff. This is just a hand going into the base of a tree. I kind of like the symbolism of that. Well, you can make up your own symbolism, I don't know. And then you have, of course, you know, landscape shot, seascape, and you see how you can get the movement of the waves, the ocean there. I am seeing that this video is getting, I knew it would get long. And then you can get really fuzzy and abstract. I do a lot of, see, the camera can't even focus on this. I do a lot of kind of pathways, sort of images with a lot of motion blur in them. And I think that's all for the black and white ones I have here. Oh, and then, you know, you can do architectural shots too that have some really solid parts to it, and then you have movement of people as well. And I do have a few from my self-portrait series that I did. You can see it's kind of soft, a little bit fuzzy sometimes, but I like that. Let's see, what else have I got there? A little bit ghosty. And then, I mean, there's different ways to print it. I've also done where I've laid pinhole negatives directly down on cyanotype cloth, and this is a series of pinholes from one roll of film. And of course, you don't just have to do black and white, you can do color. Here we have, oh, you can't see that too well. This is a C print. Some prints I do myself. These prints are actual, they're called chromogenic prints, and I can do the black and white ones at home, but I can't do these. So there we have kind of a almost a science fiction-y kind of picture of the Golden Gate. I can't get it right because the light isn't right in here. That's the Golden Gate Bridge. And then I also, and I love this one, have one of the Hudson River looking over to New Jersey. And you can see the motion of there's a barge going by there. And the buildings are kind of soft. And then I have another series here of, we have, let me see if I can get where I can see this. That's a ferry in San Francisco. This is the ferry building, and you can see I will frequently walk with the camera and let it move so I can get just kind of this choppy sort of motion. And then whenever you do water, if the water is moving, you get this wonderful kind of ethereal, foggy sort of feeling to it. That's the bay. And then we have another one of the bay here. And here's an inside shot at night in a hotel. I like these kind too. And this we have the the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. And then you can get, some pretty sharp shots too of, these are woods in Seattle area. And here we have some birches, I believe, in Washington, D.C. And then we can get really fuzzy with, like, my Pathways series is really kind of fuzzy. All of these you'll see better on Flickr if you want to go to Flickr. And there we go. Here's another one. And then you can do Georgia O'Keeffe style and get really close up. When you do those really close ones, you're actually like right on top, right? The camera's like right there, right in like a flower. It's like right at it, and it's fine. I mean, you don't have a lens that you're going to mess up or anything like that, so it's kind of cool. So that is pinhole photography in 2 videos. I'm sorry it went over to 2. I couldn't really do it in less than that, but I hope that's informative, and I hope everyone that is interested in that sort of thing tries it out, because I find it to be an incredibly inspiring camera technique, camera tool to use. And I am a dedicated pinholer. So that's it. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. It's beautiful here. Beautiful first full day of fall in the Bay Area. Couldn't ask for nicer weather. So everyone, have a good day. Be happy. Hope you're healthy and well and all that sort of stuff. And I will hopefully have more of these kind of art videos for you in the future. And if you have any questions about anything, please do ask. All right, take it easy. Bye.